Broadcasting basically live from a dirty-ass bathroom, it's your boy, Two Guys Taking a Piss. And today, we'll have a nice little discussion about the new Resonant Battles, my strategies that I've decided to adapt for them, and I guess some casual auto-dispatch talk for Aether Raids, I guess. Anyhow, today I'm just gonna go through these things without using a live 2D avatar because, God, it takes like hours for that to render. And though I really do like that, maybe next time when I've got time. So, alright, let's just get down to business. So, as some of you know, this event pretty much makes you take units belonging to certain titles so that you can get extra points and rank higher or whatever. Which actually might not be such a bad thing, because if that's all they calculate instead of that horrible arena scoring system and bonus units nonsense, I would find the idea of building units across different titles kind of appealing. Although I also think that those stupid, what are they called again? Resident Heroes, I think, might count as 2 points in the thing if the titles matches up. But then again, maybe I spoke too soon. There could be different, like, 2 different games, and then, well, that Resident Evil will only count as 1 point. But you know what? In a few hours before the event becomes a thing, maybe my negative speculations would be proven wrong instead. But knowing IS and their track record, they'll probably be scored more in one way or another. But whatever. Okay, alright. Let's talk strategy. Now, assuming that this is the first map we'll get, and that there's no random variations and no random heroes on the title, well, you know what I mean, like how, say if we were to fight Fates, we might end up fighting Gen 1 Fates units, or all of a sudden we fight Gen 4 Fallen Core and nonsense. But, I mean, like, yeah, I think that's probably what's gonna happen. We'll see what happens, I guess. We'll see what happens. But likely, we're going to end up fighting random generated things. It's something that's just they usually do. But anyway, so before you start, remember that you only have 5 attempts, so you gotta be properly prepared before moving in. I think that you should start looking into your barracks and look for melee cavalry with lunge. You give them a lunge for a B slot. That's an option that might be worth looking into. They should be fast, but still strong enough in attack to use heavy blade, so you can proc your Gale Force after a lunge. If possible, it'd be great if you could lunge into another units afterwards, after you proc Gale Force. I think a cavalry with pass will work as well, in either the B slot or the seals. Now, don't worry about attacking the thieves specifically right away, unless they are a stepping stone for Gale Force. In my opinion, the key to winning this fight is to reach the end of the map first, before the thieves, rather than just haphazardly going after the thieves and their bodyguards, because if you want to score anything reasonable, you'll want to try and take them all down. Since they can only flee upwards at 1 space a turn like a pawn on a chess game, they'll be easy pickings for you. So say, alright, we're doing Tellius, and heroes like the demo showcase, you'll probably want to look for guys like New York Catgirl, or Regular Leth, or Ranulf, or New York Legiorn. I think you can get away with Oscar as well. He also has a spread of 33 attack and 34 speed. Means that Elder Toguro, who is actually hiding inside of Oscar Myers, have sufficient stats to try this technique out. He's probably pretty easy to merge, so he's very common. Now, after getting into the 2 fights with Gale Force and yada yada yada, hopefully you'll have your health reduced to half or below. I mean, if you want to be sure, honestly, I think that running Fury is a great thing. If not, well, then you'll just have to make do with a guy in the back trying to block the pawns, thieves from advancing. But hopefully your health will be below half, then you can lead to a second thing. See, this leads to a second thing where I'm a huge advocate, right? I'm a huge advocate of collecting dancers from each title, and that is because for the longest time, I needed 2 dancers in each of my arena assault squadrons to give me the easiest 6 fights in a row after my initial points generating fight. So after my first fight, the rest of it is just 2 healers, 2 dancers, and all I do is, once I lock in, I'll just be able to shower pain or gravity on my enemies repeatedly, and there's nothing they can do about the 6 paths of pain plus. Hopefully, one of these days I'll get 3 dancers for each map, but that's something that will happen one day. Anyway, if you follow such a game plan, then naturally you should at least have a decent selection of dancers around. Any will do, honestly. Just give them like the old Wings of No Mercy and you'll be good to go on exterminating thieves. Seriously, it's like something so basic. I see this all the time. You should have at least Olivia to play with. Though, you know, like I said, maybe if you want your points, you have no choice but to try to get as many different dancers as you can. Honestly, I think the whole team should have Wings of No Mercy, because once your vanguard and horsemen or whatever punches their way to the back, you'll be in a great spot, ignoring a major half of the map, and can pick on the thieves at your leisure. Of course, I also think that the horsemen might not be the end-all here, since each terrain for each map might be a bit different. I've been thinking about building a really tanky air unit, you see, to act as the Wings of No Mercy beacon, as, you know, in case something like a whole map full of forests and ditches or something come along. My idea is to get someone like Asnard, or at least someone fast enough that they don't get doubled and have decent defenses, kind of like Camilla. Camilla's actually pretty decent with that. Now, feed Asnard like a Fury 3 or Fury 4, and then just punt his ass halfway across the map for a field goal, and let the enemy bodyguards play with him a little. The idea is that since Asnard is so tanky, he'll negate a good chunk of damage, and then Fury will help lose even more HP out of combat, hopefully leaving him at half and turning him into an aircraft carrier for the coming turn. Another idea I'm thinking of is to just employ a counter-attacking tank. Preferably not too tanky, so they can tank a few hits and get below half, and kill their enemies. I mean, it's a bit crude, but we'll need to get rid of the bodyguards eventually anyway, so turning guys like Asnard into ass-kicking warp portals I think might be the way to go. I mean, as you saw in the demonstration in the Fade channel, if you did anyway, anything with 2 range will get caught up to them by these bodyguards. It's as if they have obstruct specifically set for range units. So I think you want to look into building melee guys as much as you can, but I suppose you could have like 1 or 2 range units to act as Wings of No Mercy to clear the way. But honestly, I think Gale Force is definitely the way to go for this game mode, because you need to clear out as many thieves as you can. Now, alternatively, I think that simply a full team of flyers reposition and flyer formation could do the job. One could jump 3 spaces ahead and then use reposition, and you can cover up pretty much most of the map this way. Now, in the past, I have ran a full team of flyers with Claire Bear, Al-Qaeda, Bulbasaurus Rex, and Hinoka, who fought like that. I actually use a lot of hit and run tactics, so that when I try to flank ahead of the enemy, I preferably taking them out, I would then use them as a springboard for the next assault, because I circle around them, I get ahead of them, and then when I use hit and run, my unit back off after getting into a fight. And hopefully, I'm bouncing upwards to the top of the map so I can get a head start in taking out the thieves on my coming assault. So, as said, all the flyers have Gale Force attached, so they completely just do a bombing run through the entire enemy formations like nothing at all. And now I also ran a remote-controlled variation of this using my Hell Puppeteer Eureka. For you guys who don't know, it's the Winter Eureka with the attack opening nonsense and the staff thing. It keeps them healthy, and it makes them hit strong. The idea was that I keep the flyers around the same attack one way or another. Like, I don't know, adjusting their seals so that some of them are using the low-level ones, some of them are using the higher-level ones, some of them are using Fury 3, some are using Fury 2, you know, just... The most important thing about adjusting these things is the visible stats that they have, so you just need to kind of tweak it around. It's not too hard. You can do it. Anyway, so, and then we just do that, and then Eureka would just kind of sit back from the starting position and just kind of pump them with stats like Pump King, the King of Ghosts, and buffing these flyers from across the map. All the flyers have gold flyers as well, and together with Bulbasaurus, Rex, Camilla, they just kind of power through everything they face and potentially score 6 kills a turn, you know? It's pretty deplorable. I highly recommend building some good air units. Especially, well, you see so many Grand Hero Battles units are kind of deplorable flyers. I think it's relatively possible to get a couple for each title. Yeah, I think you can at least get like 1 or 2 for each title. There's just so many different flyers now. Next, I think Armor March is actually a pretty damn viable strat too, since it ignores like forests and shit like that. But I can't imagine too many armors can free up their B slots though for Lunge and then Gale Force again, because most of the time they're slow and they kind of need their Bold Fighter to, well, to generate them the charge necessary, and the fact that they need to hit twice. So out of all these choices, I would say that a faster armor with heavy blade would be good, decent choices, like Burger King or Blanino or Homeless Tiki can't use Gale Force because for some fucking reason dragons can't use Gale Force. Don't even ask me why. I have no idea why. Anyway, so yeah, dragons can't use Gale Force. Characters like Burger King and Blanino would be better to pull off these strats. Now, I think the best, though, in terms of armor, would be my triple action Emperor build, with the Flame Emperor Edelgard herself. Using Brave Axe and Gale Force, she chops someone to death, gets a free turn, maybe then get a smite into more enemy forces and chop down 2 more. Unfortunately, though, she's pretty much on her own after that, because she hits so hard, people just kind of fall over and die, and they won't hit her hard enough for her to have half health or below. So maybe no skull-shattering Savage Blow in a C slot, and just equip her personal armor movement, so that when she's isolated, she can still move 2 spaces, and leave that one side to her while you prepare something evil on the other side. Hey, but yeah, that's only if we get 3 houses as an option. But man, I want to use that Edelgard so bad. Edelgard was a good investment, I have you know. Anyway, finally, for infantry, there are a couple of other options you could pick, such as old dual Ephraim or Annette, or when you're, I guess, using Fates, you can also get stupid Azura to give you 3 spaces movements. Then you can kind of treat your infantrymen as if they're horses or not afraid of ditches and move on from there. But infantry is not all that great. Still, I mean, everything I've said right now are just kind of a conjecture at this time that I just kind of cooked up, you know, right before going to bed. I mean, unfortunately, I won't be up when this map comes out until I wake up the following morning. So, but I'll do my best to get that map figured out and continue the discussion from there. Meanwhile, oh yeah, I guess there is that Aether Raids thing. Man, that thing is so good for lazy people like me, though. Like I can get to tier 27 pretty much anytime I want, you see. It takes up a bit more effort, but the rewards isn't really much different as opposed to tier 25, 22, 26. So for me, I'd rather not take it so seriously, like Acris or something, because, you know, I just don't feel like working, then come home to work some more. I'd rather just play my games and just kind of coast on through, unless it's a red week, I guess. Oh, if it's a red week, then that's a different thing. I need those infantry flowers. I mean, I really don't understand why only Gen 1 infantry gets special treatment, and it's not like the other movement types didn't also get power crept to oblivion by stats creep. But I digress. Even though I get only like 75% of the score from Auto-Dispatch, as far as I'm concerned, tier 21 to tier 27, the difference isn't so big that I'll miss the rewards all that much. maybe that adds up, but the stress, not worthwhile. I've seen so many people complain to me about this or that happening in the arena or Aether Raids, like when something gay happens to them and then they die and they restart over, or they can't get into tier 21. You know what? In reality, you know, it's just the stress of maintenance getting to them. It causes them to tilt because you have to do this shit day after day after day after day with no break. It's so stupid. I honestly hate Aether Raids for that. They should just, you know, allow you to freeze your points. So something like Auto-Dispatch kind of helps it. I mean, it might not be the highest score in the world, but damn it, it sure makes the stress go away much easier when you don't have to worry about doing these fights against particularly gay defenses day after day. I know, I make these stupid gay defenses and make people get headaches and suffer brain damage, but, you know, they're kind of fun. And, well, now with Auto-Dispatch, you can be freed of this. I mean, I guess it kind of sucks a bit for my defense showcases, but that's just the way things are, you know? I mean, I'm pretty sure there are still gonna be people who tries to do things 100%, and I'll just prey on them. And I mean, well, I'm lazy as hell. I kind of do things 100% too. It's just that I build particularly powerful units and setups to make my time easier. I would never want to stress myself out and take like 1 hour to make a single move. I mean, I'm supposed to be having fun over a game, you know? I'm supposed to have fun. So, no sir, I'm going to build something so gay and terrible and I'll kill people in like 5 minutes and that's the end of it. Anyway, I tend to ramble on and I think I'm getting kind of tired, so I'm gonna get my fat ass to bed. I thank you all for listening to my nonsense. Until next time.